What you're doing. Shaney left. I am scared to death right now how this is going to come out.
Come on, I'm the 40+ year professional.
Right.
What are you talking about?
So am I, and I can't do anything for myself. So if you're anything like me, I have people for everything. I can't do anything. It's so embarrassing.
Do you have your own secretary, or do you guys share one?
No,
or?
we're not big enough for that.
Right,
but the staff laughs because I can't. I can't do anything. I make decisions.
We're going to do a series, Dino and AI. That sounds rough.
Yeah. No one. Who would watch that? Unless they want to see how stupid this person really is.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. How you doing?
I am good. How about Happy Father's Day? You know what I mean? I think it's an important day.
Sure.
I think about your kid. I think about my kids. They really give us a lot of joy, don't they?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, it was the one thing you wouldn't trade ever, and that's being a parent, probably. Mm-hmm. Man, it's maddeningly frustrating at sometimes, and just so glorious. Yeah,
so, do you have what did you eat? Like, do you have a special meal for hot?
Dude, I had a major heart attack 8 weeks ago. What I ate was kale, apples,
carrots,
grapes. The last I saw the wife in the morning, she's like, "I'm going to the pool, mow the grass, put the dishes away, sweep." I did all those things. I did it all. So. That was fun.
Well, my wife made homemade sauce and meatballs, and
we did.
I got my pasta. You know,
I think we had Traka's ox roast. Oh, a little shout out to the old Jim Lekorchik days, right?
Yeah, Traka's Market. Oh, I miss Jimmy. Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pulling up. Had been a while, too long, really. We had been there, so yeah. I did Father's Day in style, absolutely. Nice. Saturday did the ALS walk, which is a wonderful thing. There were a lot of great walks and charity events going on over the weekend, and I just want to shout out to my friend Bill Buckland, who was one of the ambassadors there, and his wife Carol. Just wonderful, did a wonderful job. And you don't. Everybody knows about that disease, for goodness sakes.
Wow.
But we were proud to be part of it, and a lot of listeners come up and said something.
Well, that's fantastic.
So big fans of yours and Shaney and the radio station, and just big supporters. I know you hear it every day, but it was pretty cool.
I'm not gonna ever deny that it's always an uplift when people say, "Hey, love the show, love what you're doing." I mean, that is always amazing. Let's talk about the president.
Sure.
Okay, here's my pet peeve, and maybe people should say, "Joel, don't get your panties in a wad." But I don't want my president articulating obscenities on social media. And what the heck is he doing with all that?
No, I didn't see that.
No, I guess he's talking about Iran. We're gonna blow up their blankety blank country. It's like, dude, have decorum of the office?
I think that's a kind of appealed to people over the haul of 10 years now. How long's he been around, right? And I get people thought, he's plain spoken and this and that. I get the sense that some of this stuff is starting to run its course. And I have never said that about this particular president. I think his 30% approval, which you've seen today, and again, do I trust every poll? Of course not. Right. But I think his number is somewhere between 30 and 35. I mean, Obama's was, for goodness sakes, at this point in his presidency, and certainly Biden's was. But I think his 30% number at this point, Joel, is pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And coming off a Biden presidency, where I think they were basically handed things on and I know you have to fix. Nobody wants to follow Reagan or Lincoln, right? You want to follow somebody who's no good. And Biden was a terrible, he's terrible. I mean, it's that simple. He'll go down as probably one of the 5 worst. And I think he was handed this golden goose, and I think they got off to a really good start. But I think it's problematic. I just listened to he didn't have a press conference, but he had the gaggle of reporters, and I love him sitting at the Resolute desk, right in the Oval Office. I think he's great there. But I listened to a large part of this. I get so I know MAGA world. I'm as conservative as everyone else, right? But I've also been around and in this business a long time, and I think I can give you a fair assessment. And I think his 30% approval is right now. And why wouldn't it be, Joel? Why wouldn't his approval be 30%? Wow. What is it right now And I get that he controls all those elections and the super conservative, and I'm one of them, are huge fans of him. And I'm still fans generally of the policies. Certainly much better than the last one. Where are we in Iran? Where are we, Joel? If you're a reasonable thinking human being, okay, the nuclear arsenal is destroyed. Okay, let's assume that's right.
Right.
Fabulous, right? I'm good. Let's go. Let's get home. We're good. This thing's destroyed. Everything will be fine. Apparently, we're going to have nuclear inspectors, right, going back in. I thought we had that before.
Yeah.
I think this is a much better way to achieving world peace than handing buckets of money, right, like Obama did, and then that strategy, the strategy of appeasement. Like, I think that's all fine. But where are we? Is the strait open or closed? Every time we get a peace deal, that's it, we get a peace deal. Now it's a peace deal with a 60-day window, apparently, to work everything out. And then we have a peace deal, and 3 minutes later, Israel's lobbing things at Lebanon because they're trying to protect themselves. They're saying, there's no peace deal. No way, I ain't signing off on this thing. They're going to obliterate us. Like, I get all of that. Where are we? I don't know where we are. Do we have a peace deal or not? There's a peace deal, and then there's a military action, and then there's a 60-day window.
But don't you think also there's this issue here that Iran's going to have to say things to calm their public down, especially the hardliners. They're saying we're closing the strait down. Our people are saying no, the strait's open and we're facilitating it.
But ships are not passing. That's
no,
not
supposedly
true.
They are.
Oh, today, but not yesterday. Was it one ship or something went through?
Okay.
So I get it. Iran's going to save face. They're going to say what they're going to say. I account for that all day. I'm saying from our side only. I don't think the American. I think I speak for the average American. I don't think we know what we're dealing. Where are we? That's my thinking. Where are we? And I'm not sure people in this country. You know where they know we are? Prices are still really high.
Yeah.
I know gas is coming down.
And to me, that is the issue with the 30%. Is that he got a lot of votes. In fact, he actually won a majority of the votes in 2024 based on getting inflation down and focusing on America first. And all of these distractions and all of these forays in foreign policy have just absolutely destroyed the reason why these, so many of these people voted for him, whether they were different ethnic groups or were they were young people. I mean, there were people that were gravitating to him because they thought he would make a significant difference, and then he got either distracted or decided he was going to focus on everything but the prime directive, which was make our lives better by cutting what it costs. Let's sneak a couple calls in. We're going to keep calls moving here. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie. Go ahead.
Hey, Joel. The strait is not open. I just seen the map. There's no ships moving through it.
Okay.
Okay? If this agreement holds out, then where we're at is exactly where we were at when Obama did it. Okay? They let inspectors in. Obama released money that was their money for doing that. So we haven't done anything. No one has won, no matter what J.D. Vance or Donald Trump wants to tell you. No one's won. Okay? So we have to stop all this nonsense, we have a peace deal today, tomorrow we don't. The way Trump talked to Iran yesterday with that foul language and those threats, do you think Iran is taking him serious? He's playing to his little crowd, his little cult. That's what they are. They're a cult. He's playing to them, and these people are just so naive, they believe what Trump says.
All right.
I still say come November, Democrats win everything. Come 2028, J.D. Vance doesn't have a chance. Little Marco doesn't have a chance. Josh Shapiro will win, but Josh Shapiro will never be president of the United States. And one more thing I got to let you know, Joel. Harbor Creek does have a secretary Steve and Tim have one. They're the ones that get stuff done out there. Dino doesn't need it. What's Dino need a secretary for? So they can tell him that he got to go do the Joel Natale show from 5 to 6 on Mondays, or go down to the stadium and call a game. I mean, come on, man. He doesn't need a secretary.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Beating me every week.
Every
just
week.
beating the tar out of me. This is terrible.
Hey, you're live on Talk Erie. Thanks for waiting.
Sure. I think it's incredibly naive for anybody to expect that there isn't going to be stops and starts to this whole process. One needs to keep in mind that this is a president who has done what no other president has been willing to do for many decades. On top of that, he has united the Arab world against Iran. Whoever expected that? And he's also stopped in its tracks the fanatic religious objective of destroying Israel to bring back, the 12th body. So anything that's done to stop that process should be commended, and expecting a quick resolution is naive. And I think that things are as good as they can be at this point.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks for weighing in. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
It could be the case. It could be the case. I get it. I mean, I hope she's right. I don't think Ronald Reagan would be out announcing, that's it, we have a deal, and the next day it's, well, we got a deal and we're going to talk about these things in 60 days.
I mean, I've heard it said from these folks here that, I find it interesting that, that the market goes up. I mean, President Trump likes when the market goes up, and it seems like the reactionaries in Wall Street do react favorably, and everybody gets a boost. I mean, he has a lot of control on this right now.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Let's hope all that's true.
Yeah.
And it could be. It could be.
Let's sneak one more in before the break. You're live here. Hi, Mr. Kerner.
You go to get you off the speaker here. That last guy two callers ago, those were bold predictions there. Very bold. Anyways, I've tried to be pragmatic for all the years you've been on the radio here. I'm not this huge Trumpster, but I didn't hate Biden. I didn't have to call in every day and vent my spleen, and
right.
with Joe the mayor, whatever. I'm very pragmatic. I try to like everybody, but since you guys are so well connected, okay, Dean, Joel, you need to call Donald Trump today and to ask him to please stop arguing with the lady that runs Italy. Okay?
What is he
He's
doing?
wearing me out.
What is he
He's
doing?
Wearing me out. They're insulting each other.
Do we really think?
He comes out.
Do we really think that she begged Donald Trump to take a picture at the G7? Do we really? I mean, maybe it happened. I don't think so either. Give me a break. Stuff just drives me crazy.
He's wearing me out.
Right.
He's wearing me out.
That's what I said.
I don't have to defend Donald Trump because I've never thought Donald Trump was the end-all be-all like some people do, no matter what he does. And they were the same way about Biden and Obama. I get that. But he's a little bit all over the map right now. And in the middle of all this, concentrate, man. Let's pick something and just finish it, whether it's Iran or if you want to take over Italy now, forget Greenland. Just do it. Just focus.
I'm totally with you, Phil. The concept of getting the outcomes, being actually the deal maker. Let's make this happen.
Quit making announcements that aren't necessarily true. That's all I'm saying. This may be the greatest thing in the history of the world. The Abraham Accords were fantastic.
Absolutely.
I think he wants Middle East peace, and I think he thinks this was a route to it, and it might be. Quit making announcements that you have to turn around and totally refute the next day. Yeah. It's just we're not buying this.
I can't imagine the people in the West Wing, every time he opens his mouth or tweets, people running down the hallways to try and get their message straight for the next half hour. Now, I'm going to let you guys go 'cause I've got to go inside turn on CNN, see the latest report on the reflecting pool.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. We got to go to break. It is Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We're live with Dino here. Stay with us. More ahead. Of course, I don't know which way I'm going now. I got to press a button.
Shaney, come back.
Shaney,
Come
please. Here we go. Green button. That's all I need right there. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. A prominent member of the media, even though we are kind of marginally locally famous there. Dino's with us, and Dean. Okay, so I never will. I'll never not miss a chance to kind of rail on the national media, and so
Good.
Because they tickle me. It's just hilarious. So you notice that gas prices are down, right?
They are.
Here in Erie County, I saw $3.89, and so they're dropping precipitously. And so the daily track of gas is no longer being seen, by the Today Show or the legacy media.
Sounds about right.
And but now you would have swore that the reflecting pool was the ultimate issue that our country is dealing with. And what do they say, 14 million or something? Or
Is that what it
it's
was?
not? Is it? It's not billion, is it?
I doubt it.
I
don't
would
know.
hope not.
I really haven't followed this story.
Yeah.
Is it really green? Is it really? Is there
well, yeah,
algae?
it's full of algae. Yeah.
All right. I heard him in the Oval Office on the way over. He blames sabotage.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay. Like he said there was like this huge cut in the thing. Are they like Jonathan Carl or something from ABC? They accuse him of cutting this thing or whatever.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But
He claims it was sabotage and all the algae now is at the bottom and they're going to vacuum it up or something. This thing will
yeah,
be fine.
there's been 5 people arrested. I guess they arrested a
yes.
former member of the Olympic canoeing team or something.
Oh, really?
Who was tugging on the paint or something. But literally, I think this morning on Today's Show, the reflecting pool had as much coverage as Iraq.
Anything Iran.
Yeah, Iran,
anything,
excuse me.
Anything to make them look foolish.
That must be it. I mean,
is it not is your argument that and it's not newsworthy?
I mean, the news is allowed to do whatever it wants. That's the First Amendment, right? It's just that it is so rare to ever see any kind of positive, coverage of this administration. I mean, I don't even think they'll give Mark. I mean, Marco's kind of the media darling right now in the administration, and I don't even think they give Marco his due.
I think they like Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance more than Donald Trump. That doesn't mean they don't still hate them.
Right.
I think they do, but I think they're both fairly entertaining. And the media does. Don't kid yourself. The legacy media loves Donald Trump for a lot of reasons.
They get a money. They get a lot more eyeballs.
Yeah.
On their product.
Exactly. It must be very difficult for them. It must be very conflicting because they hate him so much as an elected official. But they need him. Be interesting to see what life is like without him. I can't add to that. It's clearly. I don't even know if it's a news story.
I don't know.
Let alone a national news story.
Well, and what they haven't covered is the concept of that for America 250, the president and has gone around D.C. cleaning up these fountains and other parks, gotten rid of the graffiti and spruced them up for all the visitors. And the people in D.C. that live there are like, this is the greatest thing ever. We can actually enjoy our parks.
Yeah, he made that point today. You know what bothers me most about this, Joel, is the 250th birthday is a big stinking deal. And you and I both love political history, presidential history, the history of this country. It's probably going to get overshadowed from the national media because Donald Trump is president. It's almost like the legacy media is ashamed to have this celebration for 250 because he's the president. And it really bums me out. Because I think it will ramp up.
Did you
as we
hear
get
that
closer,
whole
but
kerfuffle about that we can't be patriotic because our side isn't in office?
Yeah, it's idiotic.
That whole thing.
Bruce Springsteen, he's a terrible human, but I can't want to feel like American because this guy's in office. It's ridiculous. Presidents come and go. And look at Starmer, whatever his name is, in getting tossed out, right? They can't keep a prime minister for like a year. Isn't democracy or things close to democracy beautiful? If you don't like this, blow it up. You can blow it up every 2 years, every 4 years. Blow it up. Change the world. It's no problem. I don't mean that literally.
No.
Blow it up politically, right? You can do that. That is the beautiful thing of this country. To not celebrate 250 because you don't like this guy in office for 8 years of the 250 that we've been around is utterly ridiculous. And it's un-American. And these people, I think they're embarrassing themselves. But I think the 250 celebrations they're harmed. They're subdued because the legacy media doesn't want to talk about this guy being in office during year 250. It's ridiculous.
Well, and they would rather talk about who bailed on that, and I guess now he's going to have some kind of a rally, which is figure out a way to get somebody to perform.
None of that takes away from the greatness of this country.
Correct.
It just doesn't. But they want you to believe that it does. Man, it's disingenuous to the American people and to the history of this country, if you ask me.
Wow. Yeah, we all have to celebrate in our way, what this country, this great experiment of democracy is key to, our civilization. It's amazing. Dino's with us here. Stay with us. News is next. It's Talk Erie. Thanks for tuning in to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio on Mondays. Talk politics with Dean Pepicello, the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor. And Dino, you are a expert in these parts here, especially in local politics. And I want you to kind of weigh in. First off, let's talk about your successful ordinance here. It kind of made big news with the data center, almost like a template for some of the townships here in Erie County.
Yeah, between us and the county. So yeah, last Wednesday we had a public hearing and took action on a data center ordinance. It's been a long time since I've seen our room that full.
Wow.
And a long time since I've seen so many people request ordinances, drafts of ordinances in advance. Been a long time since so many people contacted me with their thoughts on data centers and our ordinance. So we went through an hour and a half meeting, heard from a lot of people. A lot of people with torches and pitchforks coming in the door.
Yeah.
Because I think of what they've read about data centers. And I will tell you, in areas where there have been significant issues, and I don't poo-poo that there have been issues. Places without zoning, number one. So there were very few regulations unless they were from the state. They were in states that have welcomed them no matter what. They'll deal with any fallout that happens later. And they're massive, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of square feet. The situation here is different. We just felt we wanted to get ahead of the curve. And we have a really strict ordinance, really strict. So water is one of the big things. You can't build a data center in Harbor Creek unless Erie Waterworks signs off, says, yep, we can do this at the capacity they want. We can do it without negatively impacting anyone else, any other user.
And to be real, they have excess capacity of the waterworks.
I think that's true, which why we wanted to get ahead of it, because we think it's possible that because of the water alone that you might see these things. Electricity, you can provide your own power source, or we're going to have First Energy tell us, yes, there's not going to be an implication at all from a usage standpoint or a rate standpoint. Well, good luck with that, meeting that standard. And we're going to hold them to that. You can't, noise can't leave the property line. It has to look and act. You can't negatively impact people at all. So I could bring the 15-page ordinance. And we had, a room full of people who were really worried about this. Like, they have read all the negative things. And by the time we were done, we had one resident who was very critical, said to us, I've never seen an ordinance this good related to data centers. Is it strict? Yes. Can they still build? They could, but it's going to be very difficult. It's not too much for a community. You can't zone people out, right? We can't do that. But it is not too much for community leaders to say, hey, we don't want you to negatively impact your neighbors at all. At all.
Yeah.
It can't be loud. It can't be, the heat can't be coming off. You can't use all of our water, all of our power. You can't do those things. And our ordinance does that. So we feel like a lot of people who were really ready to break us down left going, holy cow, we're going to take this ordinance and we're going to show everybody else that we think this is the standard. And we did a lot of research, Joel. We looked at ordinances we thought worked. We looked at areas where there were really troubles and things that they didn't capture. We talked to leaders from those areas where they got caught with their pants down. The municipalities did, and we're not in Harbor Creek. And I think most of Erie County is catching up now. So it's hard to believe, but data centers can be a win-win. Will they locate in Harbor Creek? I don't know. If they do, it'll only be in Knowledge Park or the Barron campus. So residents are not impacted at all.
Would you say that there's probably some places that it's not entirely appropriate in Erie County to have a data center? I've been hearing things like, let's move a data center to an abandoned coal mine and just kind of, bloom where we're planted. And there probably are some spaces in Western Pennsylvania that would go well,
Yes and no. Yes, that's fine. That's a better scenario. But if a data center is going to come in and live to our ordinance, you're not going to know they're there.
Right.
You're not. That's the point. So,
well, it was interesting. We had Senator McCormick on also last week, and he was saying, don't believe all the Chinese misinformation that is being spread out there.
Also true. Also very true. And I have talked to a developer who is involved in some of these things, who said about half of the data center developments are being canceled in this country because municipalities are catching up.
Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing going on now.
Also on Wednesday was the city council meeting, went like from 6:30 to 11:15 or something like that.
Wow.
Again, over 3 hours of public comments there. At one point, one of the commenters were saying, we're going to take over council. We're going to have 100 people show up to talk. And like Councilman Horton didn't respond well to that. It's like, I can't be here. We get paid $16 an hour. You can't. At one point, there's got to be a limit to this. What are your thoughts about public comment? And do you need to control public comment? What's? Cities again. A city's different than a township. You got 7 council members.
The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. So we, in my 20 years, and we've had some humdingers, right? We've had some pretty controversial issues. By the way, none of them ever work out as bad as people think they're going to, just for the record. We've never limited comment. We've never asked people if they're from Harbor Creek. We've never limited time. You
don't even do the 5-minute deal?
No, because I think people have a right to speak. And we work for them, and they should be heard. So I'm going to go through some of that for a while. And most of our meetings are half an hour, right? Most city council meetings, maybe they're over an hour. They're not 4 hours. But on rare occasions it happens, and we joke going out, this is one of those meetings, we're going to get a little bloody, and we're going to be here a while. Okay, it doesn't happen all the time. It isn't every day or every week. So I'm inclined to take it. To people deserve to be heard. At the same time, if 100 people are lined up and they're all saying the same exact thing, like
reading from their phones, obviously a script.
Right. Which is fine too. You can prepare that. A lot of people get nervous speaking contemporaneously, whatever. But if you're all saying the same thing, you can tell me the same thing in 30 minutes that you're going to tell me in 4 hours. I'm not going to feel any different. Like, you have made your point and I have heard you. So I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. There have been really rare occasions where I will say, if I'm chairing, okay, does anybody have anything different? Like, we get it. So your message on, you think I suck. Cool. Like, if 100, raise your hand, who think I suck? And 100 people raise their hand. Okay, like, we're good. Pick one person. You got a leader, I'll give him all day, and that person can speak. And everybody, like, if they're good with that, fine. But if they want to speak, we let them speak. Unless you have something different, sitting there nobody wants to sit there for 4 hours. You can make your point. So it's like, you can do either or both. Does that make sense?
Well, it was again, the reason why most people were there was because of comments that were made in the prior study session between Council Member Brzezinski and Council President Titus, and a lot of folks were speaking to that. In the middle of all this was a public meeting about the rental inspection situation, which is, let's face it, that's a very big and very prominent issue, especially when it comes to economic development. And, are people going to invest in the city of Erie by building rentals and maintaining rentals? And, are we going to take the inspections from BIU and bring them in-house? What does that mean for the city's budget woes and pensions and, benefits and all the things? I mean, like, there were serious issues along the whole spectrum, but you had different people there for different reasons. It was a remarkable meeting. I think at some point, I think you're right. It's like, at some point, you got to say, okay, we are going to limit public comment. Well, I don't know if you're agreeing with this, but I would say maybe you say public comment is limited to 60 minutes, and maybe you start having to make reservations. I think they have that at some meetings too.
County
council.
County definitely does. And it can be a circus, but I think people generally deserve to be heard. But I think you also can have some decorum if you're all saying the same thing. But I think people need to leave that meeting feeling like they were heard. That doesn't mean they have to speak their 5 minutes or 10 minutes or be there for half an hour. Sometimes you can feel like you're heard because the guy in front of me or the girl in front of me said exactly the same thing.
Sure.
But you have to make them, you have to give them an opportunity to say, yep, that person spoke for me. I made my point. You have to accomplish that. But you can do it several different ways. You don't have to be there 4 hours, but I get it that sometimes you are.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both of our largest councils are in tough spots. County council has had some back and forth, certainly over the election board and some other issues there. City council, obviously over the misgendering of Dr. Titus. I mean, like, this is we're not at the mountaintop. We're in the valley right now with the relationships on these councils.
And you know what's lost is the important business, like you talk about. The rental inspection, that was a big deal. And I think
a big deal.
They took it back, right? Didn't the city?
Well, they passed it on for the first reading,
okay,
so that they can actually then make changes before it goes to second reading. And so I think that thing is going to be tabled for a while.
That's a big decision. A big decision that affects this city, and it gets lost because of the personal stuff, which, again, it happens. But that's always the stuff that gets headlines and brings people out, right?
And it's not just in the city and the county. Mill Creek has certainly had its share of issues. You know, again, personalities and what was the lady that showed up with the boxing gear?
You have to take control of those meetings. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying that. Sometimes things get out of hand. But again, we had a room full of people ready to torch us, right?
Yeah, right.
On Wednesday. I took control. You took control of the meeting. Here's why we're here. Here's the decision we have to make. We can't zone them out. So don't start there. We don't want to hear it. We can't tell them they can't come, but we can regulate it. And in the next 30 minutes, we're going to give you a presentation that shows we're going to regulate this thing. We're going to answer all your questions. And you get them early.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't be heard, because then we took all kinds of public comment. But you have to control those meetings however you want them to play out and still give people their say. It's not the easiest thing to do, I guess.
Absolutely. I'm down to 3 minutes with Dino here. Let's talk about J.D. Vance at The View. That seemed to get a lot of people riled up. Did you see any of that?
I saw none of it. I saw him talk about it, saying it was bad, but not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Was that your take?
Yeah, I thought he handled their questions well. I mean, again, I think he was being treated like a hostile witness, Sonny Hostin. But he's a smart guy, and he was there to talk about his new book about his conversion to Catholicism. It was they barely talked about that I could see.
I think we said early in this broadcast, and I think we're still conservative people, right? You and I personally, but the Trump act it's wearing a little thin. If you're being honest about him and his 30% approval rating, which is probably pretty accurate, I think we're 12 years in and it might be wearing a little thin. And I think he is annoyed, right, at the press. Like, he's been doing this now for a long time, and I think he's annoyed. And now
you're talking about Vance?
No, Trump. So I'm getting there. So Trump is throwing down microphones and ending interviews and calling people fake news and all this stuff.
He crunched on that $400 microphone.
Right. I think that I run out of patience in my job, right? For complete idiots. I just have. Because you get there over time. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, younger, both want to be president. We'll see how this plays out, right? But I think they have a lot more energy to deal with this. Mm-hmm. It's still fresh to them. And I think they still can treat these people like human beings, make their point across without being mean-spirited. And I think they both have done that. They still call the press out. They're still pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah.
But without the vitriol, I think. And I think that's what you're seeing. And I think J.D. Vance is there. He's young. He wants to be president. He's probably the leading candidate. And he can handle these types of things. You do it for 10 straight years of, people slinging these arrows. Actually, and it gets.
Remember, the president is 80 years old, right?
You get grumpier, and he's fresh and hasn't been through all these wars. And he's really good at what he does, of handling these things, at deflecting, at doing this thing. So I think that's the person you saw and why he feels a little better about that interview.
All right, quickly, I got less than a minute. Is this the moment for the Democratic Socialists of America?
Sure looks that way. The Democratic Party has trouble. Like, they should be swooping in. They should already be doing victory dances over beating the Republicans for the White House and all these congressional and Senate seats, and they're not there. I saw the latest poll. Republicans continue to climb closer in generic polls for Congress.
Yeah, what's that all about?
It's like 39-36 now, right?
Yes.
Democrats, because people don't like socialism. I got news for you. And why would you like socialism? Why would you want the government to take over many parts of your life? Why would you want to give them more money and more control in this great country as we approach 250 years? They got a problem. Bernie Sanders, Mandami, all these people, they're running the party right now. All the energy's behind them. They have a very small minority of people who think that the government is better at this than free citizens. They're probably going to win some elections tomorrow in New York. They're going to gain momentum. The Democrats, I think, are going to have a huge problem because of it, because they're not going to play in middle America.
We're going to leave it there. Dino, our political guru, he knows what it's all about.
Sometimes.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Appreciate it. More ahead. It's Talk Erie.